Between 15 and 29 million Indians died of starvation in British-induced famines. The most famous example, of course, was the Great Bengal Famine during the Second World War, when 4 million people died because Winston Churchill deliberately, as a matter of written minuted policy, proceeded to divert essential supplies from civilians in Bengal. And when conscience-stricken British officials wrote to him, pointing out that people were dying because of this decision, he peevishly wrote in the margins of the file, "Why hasn't Gandhi died yet?" It's a bit rich to oppress, enslave, kill, torture, maim people for 200 years and then celebrate the fact that they're democratic at the end of it.
On 13th of April 1919, General Reginald Dyer opened fire on 20,000 men, women and children in Amritsar, leading to the death of hundreds, some estimate thousands of innocent bystanders. Lieutenant Governor of Punjab at the time, Michael O'Dwyer, was at the helm of affairs. The horror of this day and inhumane and merciless act still echo on the streets of Amritsar. A young orphan boy by the name of Udham Singh witnessed the ghastly aftermath and had also solidified in his mind that he will exact revenge against the perpetrators that killed his own kind. The film, directed by Shoojit Sircar and produced by Ronnie Lahiri, has been in the making since the past 21 years. With much maturity and experience, it has finally come to fruition with Vicky Kaushal playing the title role. Marking probably the conclusion of massive event films in the OTT platform as theatres open next week, Sardar Udham was a film that I was looking forward to since the announcement. Shoojit Sircar is a director that has focused primarily on characters that are relatable and who he has interacted with, and for the first time embarks upon a period biopic, the context for the characters only being restricted to the written accounts available in the public domain, which in itself is a huge task for a creator. Was Shoojit Sircar successful in telling the compelling journey of Sardar Udham and encapsulating the story of human perseverance to exact revenge and keep the sentiment alive for liberation of one's country for 21 years? Let's get right into it. Here's me telling you the good and bad aspects of the film so that you guys can ultimately decide whether to watch it on Amazon Prime Video or not. The underwhelming aspects. The length. The film is 2 hours and 42 minutes long, and though I personally think the running time is justified to fully cover the journey and elements that hold a key in progressing the mission at hand and holistically showcasing things with context to world history rather than just in a vacuum, there is some merit to the criticism regarding the length of the film. I can look at probably 15 to 20 minutes of the movie that could have been edited out for it to become more slick and crisp. The non-chronological order of the screenplay does not help in necessarily understanding what holds importance and what is redundant in the journey of Udham Singh. In retrospect, I have to say that it possibly could have been a perfect film if the running time would have been restricted to 2 hours and 30 minutes. My unsolicited advice. I am absolutely no one to give advice to creators on how to enhance their product. I am simply a fan of films and am lending my 2 cents about it. You guys can also chime in regarding the same and whether I have a point or not in this particular instance. Sardar Udham refreshingly does not resort to commercial tropes in order to just tick boxes that don't lend anything to the journey of the protagonist. It has a laser focus approach with its screenplay that is aided by a very understated background score, compositions that have been created by Shantanu Moitra. While the piano score and the reverberation-like compositions lend great support to the visuals, I genuinely felt that powerful music with some great poetry would have definitely enhanced the quality of this film. I think of the Sikh riots of '84 showcased in the web series of Grahand and how perfectly the song Teri Parchhai sung by Swanand Kirkire and Madhubanti Bagchi played in the conclusion. The abrupt halt in the protest in India Gate and how it was beautifully juxtaposed with the heartbreaking Khoon Chala in Rang De Basanti, and even the Punjabi hymn De Shiva sung by Jasleen Royal played in the background as the Sikhs were bombarded by the Afghans in war in Kesari. I just felt that a song to enhance the heartbreaking and painful visuals would have just taken the impact of those scenes in Sardar Udham to another level. Let me know if you felt the same way as well. The good. Cinematography. Avik Mukhopadhyay is a Shoojit Sircar constant. He is responsible for the brilliant visuals of films like Gulabo Sitabo and October. The cinematography of Sardar Udham is breathtaking to say the least. There is a pale rustic tone to the visual appeal of this film. Mostly greys and blacks in United Kingdom, followed by a rustic sepia tone in Punjab. The journey of Udham across several continents commences with him walking through the snow-capped and vast landscape of USSR. The abyss and emptiness that lies ahead is daunting, but the goal is paramount, reflective of the human spirit within the revolutionary. Every sequence in the United Kingdom has been captured with so many elements in the background, it just reflects on the scale at which this film has been made, making me think that the theatre experience would have been quite fascinating. The way the last 40 minutes of this film have been captured, you are definitely made of metal not known to man if it doesn't pull at your heartstrings and make you weep. All because of the horrifying visuals showcased with no filter and the powerful performance of Vicky Kaushal. Supporting actors. The success or failure of a film like this lies on the capability of the foreign actors in the film. Usually foreign actors, especially white actors from the US or UK, tend to be portrayed in the most caricaturish and over-the-top fashion in Indian films. You can look at examples like Thugs of Hindustan, the Tamil film Jag Mein Tandiram, and even the thriller Nishabdam. The cringe performances are that of foreign actors, just like in Squid Game. I have to say that it has to be the rare occasion where the supporting cast of British actors are not only understated and realistic in their approach, but very convincing. Whether it be an activist in the form of Eileen, played by Kirsty Averton, or Stephen Hogan playing the role of Inspector John Swain, both these actors and their interactions with Udham come across as natural and probably reflective of what may have happened. Sean Scott as Michael O'Dwyer is something on whom I will come to a little later. Beyond the foreign actors, Amol Parashar in his brief role as Bhagat Singh is brilliant in this film. An actor whose energy and exuberance is something that I've always been a fan of. He shares some really poetic moments in this film, which brings me to the next point. The dialogues. It is the impactful dialogues of this film written by Ritesh Shah that I feel really capture the sentiment of a lot of characters on two opposite spectrums. One who strive towards an independent India, and two, the heartless nature of the United Kingdom that only considered Indians as second-class citizens. I think this film is representative of the human tenacity and boundless determination that individuals had, absolutely devoid of even wanting to know the repercussions of their actions. Upon being mercilessly beaten up, Udham, just in pure agony, shouts, "I do not feel pain. I see death." Bhagat Singh's letter written to Udham states, "मुफ्त में हक कोई नहीं देगा. आइडियोलॉजी अच्छी और सही होनी चाहिए. आज़ादी इसके बिना गुलामी से भी बदतर है." Upon reflecting on the horrors of April of 1919, Udham states, "सांस बस जाने वाली हो तो रूह कैसे संभालते हैं." This only is a glimpse of the impactful and poetic writing in this film. Context of history and impactful moments. What fascinated me the most and what impressed me about this film is that the mission of Udham does not take place in a vacuum, so much so that its surroundings also accommodate just to the goal of the protagonist. The journey from 1919 to 1940 transports us to various continents, economic surges, rise of political ideologies, the commencement of world wars, and all of these are chapters from our history books that we are privy to. Yet Udham Singh's story for us also is barely a footnote in Indian history. For me, throughout the film, what deeply affected me as a viewer and an Indian were the scenes shared between Udham and Michael O'Dwyer. Usually a character like O'Dwyer can be treated like a straight up villain, giving him a demonic background score as he makes his bigotry obvious. But Shoojit methodically presents his dialogues in such a matter-of-fact way that it, just like Udham, absolutely enrages you. From his blood boiling as he listens to a speech in which O'Dwyer states that it's not our right but our duty to rule over India because they will become savages without us, the beautiful staging of a scene when he goes hunting for rabbits, or when O'Dwyer has the gall to point out the willingness to please of Indians to serve the white man and be in awe of them, or even when he alludes to the fact that they deserved what happened in 1919. These moments just embolden the sentiment within Udham, beautifully and skillfully crafted by creator Shoojit Sircar. Vicky Kaushal. I can't think of a role where Vicky has disappointed me. He has filled the shoes of Irfan Khan with this role, and I might be out of line for saying this, but I'm sure the legend would be looking down at him, proud of the performance that he has showcased for this role. Vicky encapsulates every stage of Udham Singh from 1919 to 1940 with such a chameleon-like ability that it just solidifies in my mind that he has all the characteristics to become a bona fide superstar. Uri may have led to the upward trajectory of him finally being considered to be in the big leagues of this industry, but the performance of a lifetime has solidified the same notion with Udham Singh. This is a special film on a historical figure that is symbolic as he represents more than just the act that he is famous for. He was the embodiment of a revolution that shook the oppressive ways of the imperialist forces that still find it tough to have a conscience to atone for the wrongs that have been done. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below what you thought about the film. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching. Hi guys. Okay, so I don't do this. I don't come in front of camera after a review, but I just felt compelled to do so. And it's 2:45 a.m. and you guys have seen the review. I just wish that this film doesn't get embroiled in the age-old debate of what is a historical event on celluloid and what is jingoism. It's such a special film and made with such heart that I just feel that it needs to be celebrated for what a creator like Shoojit Sircar has done and the powerful performance by Vicky Kaushal. It's insane on how he's given everything to this role. It's close to 3 a.m. and I find myself getting weirdly emotional about this film because it's not an easy film to get over. You know, the visuals and moments of it are such that they stay with you and they will resonate with all Indians. So I don't know why I came again in front of camera, and I don't want to, dramatize everything. I know I'm being a wuss for crying right now, but it's a really special film, and more than anything else, we want great stories to be told, and this is a great story. So I really hope you do, guys. You celebrate this, and I definitely urge everyone to watch it. Yeah. Peace.